Hey everybody, this is Mike. I'm back again. I don't know when this video will be edited and put on, but I'm making me and my wife a little lunch today. That some of it would be good for low carb eating, but what I'm fixing to show you right now isn't. We're gonna have cornbread, some fried cabbage, and some fried squash. What we'll have for lunch. But cornbread is pretty simple. It's really 3 ingredients. I've got a small pan, big enough for just me and her, in the oven right now. I greased it and it's getting the grease good and hot and it's melting. Then I'll take about a cup of cornmeal, fresh egg, take that egg and beat it up. And some people put just a little bit of self-rising flour, maybe about a quarter cup if you want to. I like to do that sometimes. Some people even put a little spoon of sugar in it. But I don't put any sugar in my cornbread. Here's how I see it. If you want sugar in your cornbread, you could buy Jiffy Mix and just put it together. But so, got a cup of cornmeal, white or yellow cornmeal is fine. About a quarter cup of flour, 1 egg beaten. And I don't know. We'll start with a cup of milk. Now I use sweet milk. A lot of people use buttermilk. I like it with buttermilk, but it's not my favorite because I really don't like the taste of buttermilk that well. And you mix it up real good. Now, one piece of cornbread, one slice, like a normal slice, there's about 13 grams of net carbs as the way that I fixed it. And that's about the right consistency. So here's what I do. I'll go here and get my skillet. It's already good and hot. We got the grease heated up. Pour that in there. Stir it a little bit. And here's what that does. When you pour this in this skillet, I don't know if you can hear it sizzling or not, but that'll help it get that little hard crust, I think. But it keeps it from sticking. And put it in the oven. Put it in the oven for 20 minutes on a preheated 425 degree oven. And that's all it is. That's all it is to make cornbread. 3 ingredients. I put 4. Cup of cornmeal, quarter cup of flour, 1 egg, and then beat it real good in the cup and fill the cup on up to about a cup. And that'll make a small pan of cornbread that's just right for 2 people, and we'll have a few pieces left over to put with some milk later. So that's easy, but don't go away. I'll be right back. come back. So the next thing we're gonna have today is fried cabbage. Now, I gotta show you something. You're not gonna believe this cabbage. I got this cabbage, it's fresh, right out of the garden. Not in my garden, I didn't plant one this year because of my back surgery. This is a friend of ours from church that brought me this cabbage the other night, and we'll eat on this cabbage 2 or 3 days. We'll fry it, we'll boil it, we'll make coleslaw, but I'm going to show it to you. Get ready. Look at that. Look at it. Have you ever seen a cabbage that big? I think it's called a flathead cabbage. I don't know what it weighs, but it's huge, and I certainly appreciate him giving that to us. So what I'll do for this fried cabbage, I've already fried up some bacon. Now fried cabbage will have about 3 grams of net carbs, the way I'm fixing to tell you to cook it. So I'm gonna try to just cut enough off of here for me and my wife to eat today. It's a little loose, you know. It's not a super tight head of cabbage, and that's the kind of cabbage it is. But I'm just going to tell you, it is really big, and it's good and fresh. And I'll set this other to the side. I'll put it up and save it for later. So I know y'all remember chicken scraps go there for the leftover stuff. So what I like to do, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up. Cut this hard center out. Feed that, and I'll feed it to the chickens. And I'll go ahead and put mine in a strainer as I cut it up. And you don't have to cut it up small. You cut it up every, I call them bite-sized pieces. And probably like this, just like you would if you was gonna boil it. But now fried cabbage is really, really good. It's got a lot of good flavor to it. It's a good southern delicacy, I think, or that's what I would call it. So on a note today, well, y'all don't know what day I'm doing this video. So, but anyway, I'm going to mention something because I want y'all to check it out if you don't already know. I'd really ask you to refrain from commenting on it because it's political in nature. It doesn't have anything to do with what I'm cooking. But the Supreme Court today came down with their decision on the case that Mississippi courts had, and pretty much what happened today was Roe versus Wade was overturned. Some of you may like it, some of you may not. I ask you not to comment much on it. If you do, try to stay positive with the comments. Me personally, I think it's a good thing. I think choice comes not after conception, but way before, in the decision you make to have relations with each other. But anyway, enough about that. Just check it out yourself. Some other things going on in our world, you know, gas is still high. They're talking about giving us that federal tax holiday. I want you to think about that. It's 18 cents a gallon. I would benefit about, me personally, about $20 a month off of that holiday. But I'm afraid we'll have to pay a lot of it back somewhere, some way. Just like the child tax credit that they gave out, that they made it really hard to not accept. A lot of people got faced with a bigger tax burden than what they thought. So a lot of things go on, a lot of decisions get made, and there's always consequences for every action. So let me get back to cooking and get off that soapbox before y'all fire me or I lose some subscribers. Right now I got like 8. So I don't want to lose any of those 8. But I'll chop up an onion, and I'm chopping up an onion. These are Vidalia onions. I don't really like. I like Spanish onions, but I like Vidalia onions better. So for this fried cabbage, I'll have bacon, crumbled up, cabbage cut up, and half of an onion. If you like a lot of onion, you can put a whole one, but I'm saving half of it for the next delicacy that I'm going to cook. And I don't know if I should show you this many recipes in a day, but I'm going to anyway. So I'm going to rinse this cabbage off. And let it drain just a minute. So what it appears is that I need a bigger kitchen or a better setup than what I have to do these videos. But that's all right. That might come if I ever get rich and get a lot of money, get a lot of subscribers, and all that stuff, like, you know. But I just do this for fun right now and for the learning. So here's what I do. I'll take this cabbage. I got a little bit of bacon grease left from where I fried the bacon up in my skillet. Woo. I'll add some more later. That'll cook down. Maybe my wife will clean up like this mess I'm making. So I'll put this cabbage in here with this bacon grease, and you may want to add a little bit more bacon grease, or sometimes I'll put olive oil in it. And you stir it up real good and put it on medium-high heat to start with. I hadn't left, I'm coming back. So, anyway, that's probably enough cabbage for me and her. So I'll take this bacon. I'll just cut it up. And you can fry it. It's fried pretty hard. So I could really just probably crumble it up in there. But it goes in the cabbage. That bacon grease, when this bacon gives it just good, gives it a good flavor. Kind of hits your taste buds pretty good. So let me carry this over there. do is I'll take about half of these onions. Walk right over to the stove. Alright, so you'll mix all this up real good and put a lid on it. Alright, I know you can't see me, but I'm sure you can hear me. The next portion we're going to have is some fresh squash that come out of another friend's garden. Matter of fact, about half of this we picked yesterday. So, what I do, some of it's a little hard. I'll cut it down till it gets tender. Slice it up. I like to slice it pretty thin, maybe 3/16. Maybe 2 knife blades wide, maybe. Cut the ends off. Hit me up in the comments and tell me how you like to eat your squash. You know, you can fry it or stew it or bake it in the oven. I've cooked it on the grill. This is kind of stewed in a skillet is the way I cook mine most of the time. Now I like to add eggs to mine and scramble them up, but since my wife doesn't like it that way, I just don't do that anymore. You know, happy wife, happy life is what they always say, and I have found that to be true the majority of the time. So for me and her, this is about 4 squash. Now I'm going to tell you, it seems to me like I've been a long time cooking this, but you know, this is stuff you can prepare. Cornbread takes 20 minutes once you put it in the oven, about 10 minutes to get ready. The squash and the cabbage don't take very long, and probably within a half an hour you've got a meal. And if you want some kind of meat with it, you know, you could cook you some or warm it up, or you know, even throw it in with the squash or the cabbage. You could throw some ham or some more bacon. So for the squash, I slice it up. The cabbage is about 3 grams of net carbs. The squash is going to be probably 2 or 3. No, the squash will probably be 0. Now I'm using margarine because I put a big spoon of margarine in the skillet and let it melt down. Get this squash cooking. The better thing to use would be some grass-fed butter, but because it has the fats in it are a little better than what you find in the margarine. But let that butter start melting down. You have to keep an eye on this cabbage. And just a note, so you know, cabbage makes a lot of water when it's cooking. Cabbage and green peppers all do that. So the cabbage is cooking down. I'm gonna go over here and season it. I like to season it with salt, pepper, and some Tony's. And I'll put all three of them in it and stir it up real good. So my butter's melted down, so I go take this squash and these onions and drop in that skip. I've just about got a sink full of dishes for somebody to wash. But I'll drop them in there and I'll season with just salt and pepper. I'll put a lid on that. Start cooking down. It seems like the cornbread is going to get done way before the squash, because it's almost done. But here's the thing: this meal, and I'll try to pause this video and pick it back up. I don't know if I know how, but anyway, because it's just a few minutes, but I want to show you something right quick. This fried cabbage right here is almost done. And I'm telling you, it smells delicious. So it took it about 15 minutes or so. It'll take the squash about 10 more minutes and they'll be ready. And hang on, I'll show you how good this cornbread looks. Look at that right there. You can't beat that. That is some good stuff. Now, I cut this little, I cut that little pan of cornbread up. I cut it into 8 little small slices. 1/4 slice of this is about 13.5 grams of net carbs. That much is about 13.5 grams. And I cut that in half to make it like that. So half of 13, for you math wizards out there, and you know what the net carbs are for that. And I don't know about you, I like to put butter on mine. I'm telling you, the squash cooks really fast. But now, like this margarine has less than 1 gram of total carbohydrates. But now, if some of you are doing like a Weight Watchers diet, this is a good product to have. I better cover up the name, I don't know. Anyway, some spray butter is a good product to have for Weight Watchers. It's even good if you're doing keto, I think. But now, I like to put a lot of butter on mine, and that makes it really tasty. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Share it with your friends. If you like the content, let me know. If you don't like the content, let me know. Let me know what you want to see or what you want to talk about. I've been out today mowing grass a little bit. I've been listening to people all week talk about how hot it is. You know, stores are closing early, closing in the middle of the day. You know, they act like it don't ever get hot in Mississippi, but you know, the truth is, it's almost July. It's time for it to be hot. If you don't like the heat, Mississippi is not the place you want to live. Now this squash, I'm thinking go stir it. You have to watch it real close or it'll burn really easy and really fast. Let me tell you what I'm fixing to do. I'm fixing to put some more butter in it. Paula Deen doesn't have anything on me when it comes to butter. So here's the thing about cooking. I forgot what. Oh, I was talking about this heat. Well, you know, it's time for it to get hot. It's the end of June. It can be the 1st of July. Here's the thing. If people would get out of the air conditioning more and spend a little bit more time outside, they might get more accustomed to this heat. It's probably some of you watching can remember not having air conditioners in your home. When I was a kid, we didn't have an air conditioner. We had an attic fan. I used to drive cars all the time that didn't have air conditioning. Don't get me wrong, I love my air conditioner. I don't like the power bill so much, but I don't mind paying it so I can keep cool. But the thing about this heat, if you're going to be out in it, get out early in the morning or late in the evening, not the middle of the day. Hang up on that collar. I don't know why these numbers come up, I know they should know. I don't know anybody in New York or California or anywhere like that, but that's a subject for another day. But anyway, I'm fixing to check this squash. I think I'm gonna be able to have a plate presented to you to show you what we got for lunch today. Yeah, I'm fixing to set a plate together, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. This is going to be mighty, mighty good, I guarantee it. So, I don't know how good you can see this, but right here, fried cabbage, squash. I'm just telling you, this is mighty, mighty good. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Right there. That big plate of food right there. 3 grams of net carbs. Add a piece of cornbread and you're looking at 12, maybe 13 grams of net carb. That small piece of cornbread. You're not gonna find nothing much better for lunch around than this. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Let me know. Subscribe, share it with your friends. I'll try to get something on at least once a week. Maybe twice. One time it may be just me talking about whatever, and then maybe a recipe. And I'll try to get some health and fitness tips and never get too political with stuff. But you never know. So I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you try these out. Let me know if you try them, how it turned out. Thanks for coming by Rev Little Man's Corner, and I'll be talking to you next time.